So this is the news for today. The World Bank has withdrawn the funding for Amaravati, the new proposed capital for Andhra Pradesh. This comes after central government dropped its support for the project. The IMF posted on its official website that the funding proposal for Amaravati Sustainable Infrastructure and Institutional Development Project quote-unquote has been dropped. There was much speculation that the loan was dropped as many complaints had been made to the World Bank regarding irregularities and alleged illegalities surrounding the construction. However, World Bank officials say that the request to drop the project came from the Government of India's Ministry of Finance. Now, Andhra Pradesh Capital Region Development Authority claims that they have not received any communication either from the Union Ministry of Finance on why the centre withdrew the loan request or from the World Bank. But reports suggest it had apparently taken into consideration widespread complaints lodged by farmers in the region. Locals and activists had been accusing forcible takeover of their fertile lands by the previous government in the name of land pooling for capital development. Understandably, now a blame game has erupted between the political parties as to what really led to the loan being scrapped.
See, this is another major setback for the state of Andhra Pradesh under the leadership of the present Chief Minister Jagannath Reddy garu. So we have been seeing a lot of setbacks in various fields. The government of India had raised and had withdrawn its request for the sanction of loan to the capital building of Amaravati. Elena Caraban, who is the official spokesperson for the World Bank, she had issued a statement that it is the government of India and Ministry of Finance which had withdrawn its request from the World Bank to finance the capital city of Amaravati. This is very unfortunate. We all know that the Honorable Prime Minister himself made a promise to the people of Andhra that he will be helping the state.
But the World Bank is also, I would say, like I would come in that way. The Finance Ministry of India clears the things, like they support the capital region of AP, then they would be ready that wise to give the money to Andhra Pradesh. But this word has come because of only one thing. The last government, the Chandrababu Naidu government in the capital region, they have done lots of frauds and lots of irregularities.
There are so many allegations in the previous government. The government taken up in the pooling 33,000 acres of the land for the capital, and also on the assigned lands issue. There are so many misappropriations, but it should be inquired by the state government, and also there are land allotments for the private institutions also. There are so many allegations. They are giving cheaper cost to the so many corporate companies at the acre 50 lakhs and 25 lakhs rupees. At the same time, it was now Chandrababu Naidu is telling 7 to 10 crores rupees of land per acre. Why they given the 50 lakhs rupees per acre? So there are so many allegations. But at the same time, the World Bank, they are not giving the loan or as a mercy. They have their interests.
No, what I am saying, they should not stop the development of capital city. It is a self-financing project. Already damage has been done. Because of these people or this government attitude, this capital city is suffering.
Chandrababu Naidu there saying that the work on his dream project is being stalled only because of the attitude of the YSRCP government. Some allege it is vendetta politics as well. To understand the politics, the economics as well as the various dynamics involved in this development, we now are joined by Manoj Kothari from the YSRCP. We also have Ramakrishna from the TDP, Guruvar Reddy from the BJP, Dr. Vikas Singh, who's an economist, and Professor Jyothsna Tirunagari, a political analyst. Coming to you first, Mr. Ramakrishna. Do you see this only as a development because Amaravati was something that was Naidu's brainchild and now he is unfortunately out of power? So somehow it has now precipitated into all these roadblocks one after the another that are coming in the path of the project being completed.
Yes, definitely. It's first thing is the political vendetta that is going on in Andhra Pradesh. It's a part of this thing. And coming to the World Bank, we have to still have that more information on which basis they have denied the they have dropped the loan sanction. They are going to sanction for the capital region. There are much more issues in the previous government also, that Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy, who is accused in 31 pending cases as per his affidavit in 2019 elections, maybe that is also been taken in consideration. We cannot deny things.
Mr. Manoj Kothari, would you like to respond to that allegation that this might have less to do with the graft allegations that some suggest from your party against Naidu? Your party leader also went on to say that it is Naidu's atrocities that are to blame. The fact that some allege that he actually acquired the land forcefully from the farmers, but now Ramakrishna, they are alleging that it is the graft record of your leader that might be behind this decision of IMF to pull out the funds.
First, I would tell to you that he has become the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh after the bumper majority of 50% more than share vote. That means people are still 100% trusting him that there is nothing wrong he has done, and it was only the vendetta of during those times that Congress and TDP has come
let's
together
keep our
and done
focus
on
on this. Is a usual
whatever
political debate that will go on till YSRCP is in power and beyond that also about the criminal records. Let's just focus on the Amaravati project and the fact that the funding has been withdrawn and why.
IMF is that maybe the parameters have been taken by the IMF.
Which parameters, sir?
Maybe this criminal cases pending and the 420 cases pending against the present CM.
But the only parameter that they are officially citing is the fact that the Union Finance Ministry
I don't know
has
whether
asked
this
them
man
to
knows
withdraw
it or not.
funding.
I tell you one thing, this man knows or not, I don't know how much he has gone through the things are. Any World Bank, whichever supposed to the government, it's supposed to the government and not to the personal. It is supporting the government, whatever is today it may be YSRCP, tomorrow it may be other government, day after tomorrow it may be other government.
It is the same person who has sent the fake emails to the World Bank earlier. He is the same person. It has been proved earlier also.
It was not fake emails.
It was fake emails. It was proved earlier. You can
there were
go
no
through
fake
the
emails
documents.
And they were from the farmers.
It was the fake emails.
You have gone through the documents, you have seen everything. It's not like that. No fake emails were sent through. And World Bank is not that like in between you and me. They check through
their
committee has come to the Amaravati city.
They have got much more parameters.
They have spoken to the lots of farmers.
YSRCP and TDP might blame each other as much as they want, but the official reason, we don't know what happened behind the doors, but the official reason remains that Union Finance Ministry, which is under a minister who belongs to the BJP, has sent a letter to the World Bank saying that please withdraw the financial assistance. Mr. Guruvareddy, would you like to explain the role of the BJP in this?
Absolutely. Actually, what I perceive from the information we have, there have been a lot of people's movement against the project, and there is a concern of there are a few organizations called Human Rights Forum, Andhra Pradesh, National Alliance of People's Movement, and there is Center for Financial Accountability, which actually deals with the financial viability of any project. So there are some complaints, there are people's complaints about, the risk assessment of the World Bank. When they fund, they actually work out on the project's category, which is actually, is it a viable project or not? Because if World Bank gives some money, they look into the returns as well, but you see, it is this signing off the project doesn't have anything with the viability of the project, but at the same time there are certain concerns from the people, the farmers who have been actually utilizing or farming in the assignment lands around the project. There are 20,000 families were to be affected, and where the Chandrababu Naidu's government wanted to acquire those lands. Of course, they had their plans of compensating the farmers, but World Bank along with another institution co-financer for the project called AIIB, they together were supposed to fund about $715 million US for the project, out of which World Bank was the main funder. But just as we had faced issues in the project of Narmada, Narmada River, earlier Narmada Bachao Andolan was, was a major issue previously, and there were certain regularity issues were to be considered. Now we look at the significance of the project here. It's $300 million were supposed to be funded by primarily by the World Bank. They start because the reasons the information I got officially from the party here this project has been scrapped because of the Land Pooling Act was not properly.
Who is
you
giving these
know,
reasons? Just for clarity, who's given this reason?
This is from the people who have actually approached the World Bank, complained to the central government.
But so has this communication come to them today from the World Bank that this has been scrapped
No,
because of the
this-
complaint filed by them?
This has been happening for the last 2 years, from, since 2017. Okay, there are several complaints pending against the project because of the environmental issues as well as the viability of the project, as well as the people, about 20,000 families being displaced.
Right.
Those people all approach the central government as well as
weren't
the World
these,
Bank, you know.
Weren't all these complaints made available to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who
I am sure
laid
they
the
have-
foundation
I am
project or foundation stone of this project in 2015, or was it all okay because
No, it
TDP
is-
was then a part
this-
of the
all this
BJP
movement of-
government?
I'll answer that. All these
NDA.
movements started in 2017, not in 2015. These movements started in 2017 when there are certain associations form the forums like Human Rights Forum Andhra Pradesh, National Alliance of People's Movement, and there is a Center for Financial Accountability. These three organizations have mainly actually started fighting and for the livelihood of those 20,000 families, and as well as the questioning the accountability of the project, you know. That's all. Based on these two projects, probably World Bank might have come to an arrival.
Right.
They wanted to inspect and might have.
They did actually. World
Yes.
Bank doesn't shell out money without conducting ground checks. They actually sent an inspection panel in 2017, and after all these allegations of land being acquired, there were environmental concerns as well, because this is on the city is being constructed on a green field, and it was only after that they had requested the state to come up with a reply. Now everything was fine because TDP government was in power and they were trying to convince the bank otherwise. Suddenly, once Naidu is out of power, YSRCP comes into being, everything
I'll
is
tell
wrong. And if I could get Jyothsna in on this, do you think it is more of a legacy battle than a logical battle for the rights of the people whose lands may or may not have been acquired?
It seems like that, but it actually is not. I'll tell you why. Because when this entire project came, the proposal was put on, it was put on for $500 million. It was not for 300. They put a proposal for 500, of which only $300 were actually proposed, that were okayed by the World Bank. Then what happened? I think in the month of July 2017, as Guruvareddy sir has correctly spoken, the trouble arose from 2017 when, yes, a numerous number of complaints were lodged with the World Bank and also with the National Green Tribunal here.
Correct.
So, because of that, what happened was an inquiry team was set up, which has deferred the inquiry team was set up in July 2017. It deferred its decision of granting its permission till November 2017. Again, an extension for the deferment was granted in November 2017 till almost April May 2018.
Correct.
So the point was till April May 2018 the funds were not granted, the proposal was not accepted, it was still pending.
But it
What
was not dropped.
transpired? Yeah, it was not dropped. I am not saying it was dropped. What I am
Because
saying
it's
is,
a self-sustainable project.
see, what
But
happens,
sir, Mr. Ramakrishna,
see,
if
my
it
question-
were a self-sustainable project, then why would two banks
there are
be
no
asked to
issues,
provide
no?
funding? Because
no,
now
there
I
are
learned that
complaints on it
This
from
is it's a
national.
political
National-
agenda. It's a clear picture of political agenda.
See, that's after everything goes on, everybody says it's a political vendetta. But the point is, it has been, in the mess starting from 2017, almost from the mid of 2017, April, May 2017, the entire issue started off, complaints were lodged, then they went for deferment, they said, no, we are going to inquire, then we'll come back. Then after 6 months also, they said, no, we are not, happy with what is the inquiry, so we'll do the inquiry again. Another 9 months went on, and still, even in October, I think around, you should say July 2018 also, no decision was taken. We cannot say until and unless the decision was taken, it was granted. Never, ever the World Bank has granted permission for this particular project. The proposal was put up from the TDP government through the, the National Finance Ministry, the Finance Ministry of India. Now, Yes, after it is dropped for several reasons. We don't know what the reasons are because the official reasons have not come up from the World
No,
Bank.
they are saying the official reason that the Central Finance Ministry has
No, it
asked
has
to
not.
ask.
The
No,
official,
they
the
themselves.
official statement has not come on that.
No,
On
no,
the
the
AP government,
official, let me
AP government to
just
react on this.
clarify that the official statement has come from the
Yes,
World Bank, but we haven't heard anything from the Union Finance
Exactly,
Ministry
that's what the
as
clarification I'm
to
trying to
what
give you.
was the reason for them
is a-
sending a recommendation to the IMF on that account. Probably, Mr. Manoj Kothari, you could shed some light on that. Does YSRCP government have anything to do with this?
ISRCP government doesn't have anything to do with this actually.
But
They
some
are
of your
just
party
want
leaders
to
have
build
been
better
saying that we
capital and they
did not
center to
want an
intervene.
international money lending body to inquire into allegations of graft and irregularities in a domestic project, which is why we thought this money should not be taken.
No. The irregularities, the irregularities they are talking
whether the
about,
permission
past
of-
government
Sir,
what have done.
Mr. Ramakrishnan, just let him speak.
They
Let's
have
hear
told
him
a
out.
lot of activities also, lot of farmers have been, like lot of activities have come to the place, to the Amaravati, and they also has come to know like lot of irregularities has been done in the land pooling, and farmers are meant, they were dragged from the homes and their lands have been taken. That was the situation. And the World Bank people, they known by on the ground.
As you have done it in Saraswati Cements.
No, sir.
Henceforth, they are backing. No backlog. No, I shouldn't answer that question. But whatever he is speaking is wrong. Actually, they have known. The World Bank people has come to know that there are a lot of irregularities have been done, and which Chandrababu Naidu was not believed during that time, and they didn't trust him. And henceforth, central and state both together.
Okay,
At that time,
so we've almost reached.
It
was not dropped that time. For
We've
your kind
almost
information, it
reached
was
that
not
part
dropped
of
that time.
the
You have to answer this
debate where it's almost clear that we'll never get a clear answer to what transpired. Let's now look forward. So what happens from now? This is not a small project. The numbers are mind-boggling, 51,000 crore rupees. First thing, what happens to the land of the farmers that has been acquired for this project? We know we've been getting indications that YSRCP doesn't seem to consider this as one of its priorities. We saw just 500 crore rupees being assigned in this latest budget for this. All the projects have been put on hold, at least those which are under 25% completion. So bringing you in here, Mr. Vikas Singh, run us through the financial problems that such projects face.
So, I mean, I've been a big fan of Chandrababu Naidu, so let me start by saying that. But I think we must question the priorities of the government. When the new state was formed, did we really need a state capital with 51,000 crores when Chandrababu Naidu has been going around town saying that there is shortage of funds and things like that? Yes, we admit that making a capital is an important thing, but that shouldn't have been the priority. But coming back to the basics of funding, $300 million is really not a lot of money for an economy which is $3 trillion economy. I don't think that's, but what's really hurt us, what's really going to hurt us in the long run is the fact that a project has started and the World Bank pulls out. I think the perception that people will get because of that is going to be something that we need to be very, very careful about.
So, Mr. Gulbareddy, will now centre provide an assistance to the Amaravati project to compensate for this withdrawal of
It
funds?
depends on you. It depends probably, see, basically when both the states were bifurcated in 2014, there was a promise from the central government that, of course, it was a previously Congress government, there were lot of promises for both the states, as any new state requires a capital. I would definitely, the government would look into helping the state government. But, if you are dealing with the future prospects of how this project would be, if you are totally dependent on World Bank or some other financial institutions, I don't think it's going to be viable because there are certain huge, draft list of demands from the farmers and as well as the Dalits who have been actually affected. And, all those issues, if you really consider, the compensation package would actually surpass the actual, the funding that is done by the financiers, the World Bank or AIB or any other, for that matter, even if the central government, That's why we need to look into the most important factor.
Were these considerations not kept in mind when the initial approval was granted? I would assume that if the Prime Minister is inaugurating the project, all these things would have been considered.
Yes, see, there is a simple procedure for any, there is a Green Environment Tribune, there is a finance committee, there is a urban development ministry, there are certain other departments where these things will be actually screened through. Okay. Now, when there is a new project coming up, anybody who is in good books with a state government or a central government, anybody looking for a development, whether it is the Prime Minister or another other minister, whether it is Narendra Modi or other minister, when there is a proposal for development of a new capital, definitely anybody would encourage, but not surpassing the environmental issues, not surpassing the viability issues, neither surpassing the the human rights issues which are involved in there.
But that was done.
No, these issues.
This capital has been under construction.
No, capital has been granted in
4 years
2014.
now.
No, not 4. These issues started arising 2017. You have to understand that. These issues started arriving 2017 because the promises which have been made by the state
but the
government.
greenfield was there when the go-ahead was given.
That's
It wasn't
why,
like the land suddenly became a
probably
greenfield.
there might have been a cross-check on the issues, the regularity issues which have been supposed to be maintained by the state government, which were not followed.
Well,
that's
I
why
think
the complaints arise after
keyword there is
2017.
in the good books, as you mentioned. But Mr. Manoj Kothari, be that as it may, Andhra Pradesh needs a capital. What is the plan that Jagan Mohan Reddy has on his mind? I've got just last 1 minute left, so let me just quickly get this in, because
let me complete that. You're trying to blame central government here.
No, I'm not. I am not trying to blame anybody, sir. I'm just putting across arguments
Let me
from
complete that.
the other
No,
side.
it is nothing to do with the political vendetta. Mr. Ramakrishna, hold on. See, it's a clear picture. The reasons are shown here. There is a environmental issue. There are several vindications.
Okay. So let's just move on.
It is not just about a political
you
thing.
repeatedly emphasize that there are several issues with this project, and nobody will deny that it has been mired in controversies. So, Mr. Manoj Kothari, what next now? Amaravati has been stalled. Your state needs a capital. What are you planning to do?
Like officially there has not been any statement from our government, but Amaravati development will definitely be taken care by the Chief Minister, now Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy.
Please let him come out and
but
give
still,
the same statement.
It's a great backlog, I would say. Like the central also should help the state, whatever it has promised in the reorganization in the parliament. It should always give a priority to the state, because it doesn't have a proper facilities right now. It doesn't have proper infrastructure. The central government should come forward with all the things, going ahead with better than other states, giving to other states. The central government should help the state right now to build the capital.
No, please let your CM come out and
there is a viable project. If it is a viable project, as well as
Please
let your CM give a statement on this thing. Please let him come out and give a clear statement.
The viability of the project might also have something to do with the relationship between the party at the center and the state, Professor Jyothsna?
Yes, definitely it would. They might deny that, but yes, definitely it would, because as you correctly pointed out, till 2014 till 2017 almost, there has not been any much of hiccups for the project. It went on around, say there was not many hiccups, but when trouble started between the center and state in 2017, then sir, it's something that's very obvious to the public. So what I mean to say is, definitely, as you correctly pointed out, good books is something that definitely matters, but when it comes to financial terms like this,
no, good books in terms of maintaining the rules, following the norms. That is all called good book, not good books of the project.
Ladies and
not when
gentlemen,
you are
I've
good, not when you are
completely
born.
run out of time, but one hopes that the bonhomie that we've seen between YSRCP at the state level and BJP at the center, and now especially since this proposal of withdrawal of funds came from the Union Finance Ministry, we now hope that whichever is the yes sir, the recommendation, there is no denial to the fact that the recommendation came from Union Finance Ministry, but one just hopes that for the future of Andhra Pradesh and the capital that they need, we can now settle all the other concerns and focus on the state's development. Thank you everybody for watching.
This half-hour is very short period.